Cars wrapped an arm over her shoulders. Aurora gripped his hand, even though he had no idea of her struggle. Lena had a distant look on her face, sitting alone. The clouds of night piled against the horizon behind her. Then they passed into network coverage, and everything changed again. Aurora nearly lost herself in the surge of new sensory information bursting forth in her mind. The city erupted into a living display of information and characters instantly condensing in her mind. The landscape, for lack of a better concept, that emerged made the symbolic presentations of the processes seem like nothing. The city was a vast, living ecosystem of information. The sky filled with a bustle of people and products. Vibrant logos swelled to fill her vision, prying at her attention. Catchy pieces of songs piped into her mind. The brilliant sunset showed through the churning mass like a carnival of stained glass. As she looked at one particularly enticing advertisement for some diaphanous summer wear, more sprang up around it, offering subtle variations of the first advertisement. The advertisement shifted and narrowed on some approximation of her ideal summer dress as she studied the offerings longer. It wavered through a few colors as the model laughed and relaxed. The model whispered to her, "I think you'd look great in it." She smiled in a way that put Aurora at ease. "It's a La Paz." The corporate logos were subtle, hidden among brand names and products, but they were present. The dress was a La Paz, labeled in fancy script. When Aurora probed further, she saw La Paz was an official brand of Marseille ink. She shuddered, seeing the Perpetual logo among the mob of images. It was a magic that frightened her, but simultaneously drew her into its depths. Part of her mind knew to call it the public layer. Another layer whispered to her, creeping into the depths of her mind. It had the feeling of a stranger demanding her name. She couldn't answer it, but knew from somewhere in the computers packed in her brain that she was interacting with something called the personal layer. The smiling model tilted her head. "I don't think we've met before." Her tone crawled with the slightest tone of menace. Aurora recoiled. Distant inquisitors whispered questions in some unconscious depths in her mind, demanding identification and qualification. There was a conversation just beyond her conscious awareness, a feeling that she was standing in front of some unseen customs officer. She could not hear the questions, but had the feeling that her mind could not answer the questions of the personal layer. Her stomach sunk, hurtling toward fear. She knew from her feelings alone that the questions were increasingly difficult challenges. Was the prosecutorial presence alerting Perpetual as she failed each subsequent challenge? The feeling of her mind interacting with the persecuting presence of the personal layer quickly dissolved into concern as the rail freighter sped toward the city. Suddenly, the personal and public layer vanished. The sense of presence was gone, but her feeling of dread lingered. The city's digital cloud disappeared, and the view returned to the spectacular urban skyline. Aurora was relieved the looming logos had vanished with the other projections.